All right, let's try to do a drawing in preparation for our Starry Night. Remember that your Starry Night might look like this, or if you decide on different subject matter like this. This is an assignment I've called Janus Mask in the past, 2 theater faces, comedy and tragedy. This definitely looks comedic. I'm not sure about this one looking tragic. He doesn't look so sad as he does mad, but regardless. Notice how big and exaggerated the shapes are, and even the smaller details are big enough to cut easily. Again, nice and big, and sometimes simple shapes that are fairly easy to cut. Now this is 6th grade work, so 6th graders' skill with scissors is not what it is for 7th and 8th graders. 7th and 8th graders should be a little bit better. I have a concept drawing here that I did earlier. I recognize a problem right here in this area where this star and this star are too closely packed together. So for my concept drawing, this is great, no worries. But in my final, I think this element, this one star here, would be moved off to the side, creating more possibility for overlap right here, and also letting me see the bigger star behind, okay? So it's an okay concept drawing, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's also nothing wrong with improving your ideas when you move off to your final, alrighty? So let me turn this paper over and let's get this next drawing done. I might go ahead, I'm gonna do Starry Night. I might decide to turn my paper this way, let's try. And I'm gonna have a hill there and another hill there. Now there's gonna be 2 large sheets of chipboard like this, with one piece going behind the other later on when I glue them down, so that I can close my eyes and feel that edge. I can feel it rise up from the surface, because only if I can feel my edges can these finals work. You see how I can see where the black is along the edge? So you gotta be able to feel your edge. Okay, well that's definitely not enough. What else is gonna go in here? Well, let's see. I'll go ahead and do my regular moon. Now I'm starting with a circle, coming back with another circle inside of that. And you can see when I erase a small section of the bigger circle, I've got myself a nice big crescent moon. Now I can darken that with marker or pencil. Hopefully you can see that well enough on the screen as you're watching. I want to make something traveling underneath this horn of the moon and maybe traveling over that horn. And what I mean by that, here comes some mist or some water vapor, and it travels from lower to upper, lower left to upper right. It goes underneath this horn, goes underneath this section of the crescent, comes back, and travels over that section. So the section that gets covered up won't be seen. And I'm going to go now and reinforce all those parts of the crescent moon that can be seen, so you'll be better able to understand the relationships, okay? I've got to remember to try to keep my drawing inside the frame of the camera, because I have problems remembering to do that. All right, here we go. So there we have the 2 horns of the moon, the crescent moon, with one horn underneath the mist up here, upper center, and the other horn lower left on top of the mist. We want to build in some of that overlap, okay? As a matter of fact, I might just go ahead and erase that section of the mist and bring it down here and do that. So now I have a section of the mist that covers and overlaps this hill, hiding a portion of the hill, and then feeding up into the rest of the mist here. Not my greatest line work there, but you know what? That's fine for a concept. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some other features of the night sky in there. I'm going to try a different kind of star. I'm going to try a very long, elongated star. Elongated means stretched out. And so I'm not sure of myself here, so I go lightly, and in going back, it could be that I'll make some changes that I think improve things. So I'm going to go back here, and you'll see a lot of changes here in a moment. Not only did I round out the tips because I wanted to, but I repositioned some of the legs and change their proportions. Okay, so I have that Almost looks like a human form that's getting ready to dance with that. All of a sudden it looks human-like with arms and long legs and a head. I'm going to go ahead and draw another long star right here, all right? And again, I've got to decide, okay, what's going to be on top, what's underneath? Well, already this is on top of that, okay? And maybe this is on top of my moon. So I am erasing things that get hidden. And maybe this goes behind the mist, which is kind of weird. And maybe this goes over the hill. So you just, it doesn't have to be realistic. The star would not be seen on top of a hill normally. You just have to be able to convincingly draw it and organize your surface. So this star is on top or underneath a few other things, okay? So I kind of like that. It wasn't expected, but I kind of like what I just did. As a filler, here, let me do one more star here, and then I'll add some fillers. One more distant star there, arching up and over, almost like he's flying away over there. Remembering that placement high on the page and using smaller sizes does suggest a deeper space far away. Spaces down at the bottom tend to be understood to be closer to the viewer. So if you're going to do big, medium, and small, that progression up the page, low to high, kind of conveys a greater distance, all right? Don't forget that. I'm going to go here and add a river or a roadway. Let's make it a roadway, a winding road, which is looking an awful lot like this mist over here, okay? So this winding road. Now, that could be cut out of a separate piece and glued on top of this one. It could even go under that one. Or I could take that one earlier large piece and just cut out a section and have just a cut section there. Remember, as long as I can feel that line, that's where the paint will settle and we'll be able to see the line, okay? So I think I'm done with this. I'm kind of happy with it. It's got a lot of movement in it, and it's also got a sense of depth, not only due to the fact that I modified my sizes, big and small, low and high, or wide to narrow going low to high, but I also have a lot of overlapping here and here and here and here and here and here. And all that overlapping, even though it might just be 3 layers, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It may not be that many layers of chipboard, but you know what? Just enough to make it look 3D. All right? Now, you try.